Hey guys, how's it going? So we're back with another video. We are here in the rehearsal space, and I've got a box over here to my right. The last video we made caused a lot of people to get very angry. A lot of people question my integrity and my credibility. Well, I put my money where my mouth is, and I spent more money than I was comfortable with to buy one of the new Fender standard Indonesian Stratocasters. It's right there in the box. It's not been opened yet. I'm going to open it on camera with you, and I'm going to plug it in. You're going to see my honest first impressions, and then we're going to open it up and take a look inside and see what the electronics are. I actually did a live stream about this guitar. I had finished filming the review that you're about to watch, and as I was going inside from my garage, taking everything in, I thought, you know what, I should just stop, I should do a live stream and tell people how I feel about this, because the feelings were raw and real at that moment in time. So if you haven't watched it yet, go watch that live stream or skim through it and watch parts of it to get some more insight into kind of how I feel about this guitar. You can also wait and watch it at the end. Up to you. Or don't watch it at all. That's also up to you. Anyway, on to the review. But wait, one more thing. If you don't give a shit about any of the review part of it and you're only here to see what's under the pickguard, look at the chapters below and you'll be able to find that part of the video. So anyway, I'll leave you alone. Enjoy. Alright, I'm probably going to fast forward through a lot of this, but I want to do it all in one shot. So here it is. Ah, what a mess. This box out of the way. You ready? Here you go. This is Fender Standard Series Stratocaster. I'm going to come pick up the camera. Here we go. I haven't really touched it yet. You can see that black Fender logo. There is a gloss on the headstock. You can kind of see it there. That's kind of surprising. And look at that. It is not a walnut plug. The photos were wrong on the website, and all the marketing material that Fender sent out showed a walnut plug. That is definitely not a walnut plug. Try to get it in the light. That is just a black, looks like it might be plastic. It's really hard to tell. Okay. And there are the frets. Fretwork feels great, I have to say. Fretwork feels very nice. There's that color. I'm getting a really close up on purpose because I want you to see there's a metallic flake going on inside that finish. We've seen that before from this factory on a lot of the Squires, like the Contemporary series. Fender Standard Series. You can see here that the pole pieces are staggered, so they didn't do the bare minimum there. at least. I say that as a good thing, as in the bare minimum would have been flat pull pieces, and they did not do that. Switch feels kind of rough. See if you can hear this. I'm not being nitpicky on purpose. I'm judging this as a Fender Stratocaster. I'm not sure that a Fender Stratocaster should have a switch like that. Knobs feel pretty good. Pots feel pretty good. Let's flip it around. It's got a full-size block. Comes with 3 springs installed. There's your neck plate. There's the back of your neck. Sorry for the blue light. I got this set up for our rehearsal, so it's like a stage setup. Here's your tuners. These are those Fender looking, Mexican looking tuners. And as you can see, this is serial number 354. So it's a very, very low serial number. The back of the neck feels better than I expected, to be honest with you. It is finished. It's not quite glossy like an Epiphone would be, or like a painted or finished, fully finished back of a neck would be. But it's not bare like some of the Bullet and Sonic Squires are. Okay, let's go ahead and plug this in. I'm gonna actually turn this off. I'll be right back. So what you're about to see is the sound demo that I did. All I did was take the guitar, put a strap on it, put it over my shoulder, tune it, and go. And so a lot of people are gonna criticize my conclusions in this review by saying, well, the strings it comes with suck, which I agree. Pretty much all strings that come on all guitars suck. You should change them immediately. But I wanted to give you an impression of what Fender is physically sending out the door. A lot of people, when they get this, they're going to plug it in and try and use it, and we form our opinions that way. I did change the strings. I did set the guitar up. The live stream that I did after this was filmed, that I told you about at the beginning of this video, was done with brand new strings that were stretched to hell. A setup that I did myself. And, you know, my opinions in that video are pretty strong. I encourage you to go watch that live stream if you haven't already. So, anyway, on to the immediate first impressions. Just opened it, slung it on my back, and plugged it in. Sound demo. So here we go. It's right here. I've got it on. It feels kind of light, I have to say. The neck feels okay. Like I said earlier, the fretwork is decent. It doesn't have sharp fret ends, but you can feel them, if that makes sense. You can feel the fret ends still, to the point that it's noticeable and slightly annoying, but not a hindrance to your playing. It's really hard to describe the way this neck feels. Like, I want to be fair, but at the same time, something feels off. Like, it feels, I don't want to use the word plasticky, but it feels kind of plasticky. It feels kind of cheap. You know? It's really hard to explain. You'd have to feel it for yourself. But that's not what matters. I mean, it does matter. I will say that. It does matter, because if you don't like the way it feels, it doesn't matter how it sounds, right? It has to feel good enough to inspire you. But anyway, I've got it hooked up to the Blue Voodoo behind me. Half stack. We did a review on that a couple weeks ago. We're just going to run through a few sounds. These are the stock strings. I didn't change them. I haven't changed anything. I haven't changed the bridge height, the action, the pickup height, nothing. This is exactly set up the way that it came from the factory. All I did was tune it. To E flat, I should say. Let's go ahead and see how it sounds. I'll say right off the bat, which isn't bad. They don't sound like super hot ceramic pickups like I expected. All right, let's move it to the next position. Sounds like a Strat. Let's try that again. You can only tell so much clean with nothing. No effects, nothing, just clean. It sounds like a Squire to me, just being honest. Nothing really jumps out as exceptional. Nothing really jumps out as like, I don't know, all of my Mexican Fenders sound better than this. We will do a comparison between Mexican and this, but not today. This is all about this. But hardly anybody plays totally clean, right? So let's add some reverb, okay? Then I'll switch channels and we'll try dirtier stuff. So I've just turned on my Echoplex and my Holy Grail reverb. Sounds on this guitar at all. So they do have it wired where the bottom tone control does affect the bridge pickup. Maybe that'll help a little. This trend sucks. It's doing the thing where, I don't know how to explain it. When you bend, so listen. that thing where when you bend, it's like shifting in the nut. It's a badly cut nut, let me just put it that way. So when you bend, the string moves, it doesn't return to where it started, and so the whole string goes sharp. When you use the trim, it forces the string to pop back to where it was when you tuned it, and then it's in tune again. It's a classic case of a badly cut nut. The nut is shittily cut on this guitar. Alright, let's turn on some overdrive. This is just going to be the red channel of the Blue Voodoo. Sounds a lot better with overdrive. Everything sounds a lot better with overdrive. So it's still in tune, but I had to use the trim to get it back. Slightly out, but... Let's try a DS1. that combination of a clean amp, a DS1 and an SD1, and this, it sounds pretty good. That's what I'm talking about right there. Now it's in tune. Okay, so we pretty much run through the whole thing. I gotta say, like, my first impression, it feels like a Strat. The tuning issues are driving me insane, though. It's super easy to play. It reminds me very, very strongly of my Affinity Squire, 2002 Affinity Squire Strat. It has the same finish on the neck. It has the same playability. It's easy to play. It feels a little heavier than that guitar, I guess. It reminds, like when I'm playing this and like not thinking about it, right? If I just forget what guitar I'm playing and I just play it, reminds me of being a beginner and playing on that Affinity. And I'm not saying that to be an asshole, I mean it. It feels like a beginner entry-level guitar. There's nothing about this guitar that my Affinity doesn't do. My Affinity stays in tune better than this one. I don't know, man. It does seem like it's just a logo. It's fun as hell to play. But the fact that it costs $599 is just wrong. It takes the fun away, in my opinion, because it's so unbelievably expensive for what it is. Like if I dropped 200 bones on this, I'd be super excited with how this feels and how this plays. But it's no better than a Squire. There's just like nothing about this that's better. And that black Fender logo, it just looks wrong. It reminds me of the Squire series, the 94 that we talked about a while ago. First big video we had on this channel. It reminds me of that, where it's like a bastard child. But the difference is, there's no like interesting story about this. With the Black Label 94, the interesting story was that there was a fire at the plant in Mexico, so they used a bunch of American stuff to finish them, to get them out in time. That's what makes those. This is just Fender being greedy assholes. Like there's nothing about this that makes it worth $599. Nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Even the headstock logo doesn't make it worth it. The pickups don't make it worth it. There's nothing about this that justifies the price. There really isn't. If you want a Fender, any Mexican Fender is going to feel better than this. It's going to be heavier. The neck's going to be better. Pickups are going to be better. It's just going to be better in every way, and it's going to be cheaper. But hey, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's take it to the workbench back behind all that junk behind me. And let's take a look under the pickguard and see what is going on under here. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna cut the strings off, but before we do that, let's take a closer look what's going on here. So there's that bridge, 2-point. What's interesting is this guitar came set up for E standard. I tuned it to E flat, and check it out, it's still got too much tension on the spring. So I wonder if that is what caused the tuning problems. Here's the saddles. These are an upgrade, I had to admit, over what you would get on an Affinity. Affinity's gonna have some like generic chrome-plated shittium Chinesium saddles. These look a little bit better. They may be steel even, I don't know. You can see the plastic on the pick-ups here. Here's a close-up of the fingerboard and some of that fretwork. Here's the nut, which is cut way too deep. See if I can get a good, yeah, cut way too deep. And the strings are getting stuck in the nut. There's that Fender logo. It's irritating. This whole guitar irritates me. All right, let's cut the strings off and look at the electronics. Moment of truth. I'll be dipped in shit. Full-size pots. Korea. Alpha. And a Fender switch. I'll be damned. And oh my God, Fender put a label on the pickups. No way. No way. There's a label on the pickups. Ceramic magnet, as we know. These are basically what you get with any Squire. But hey, that's pretty cool. In fact, I think I have a Squire pickguard laying over here. Yeah, I do. Now this is a little different, as you can see. One magnet. These have two magnets. These are like better than the one magnet ones, I guess. Looks like they've got a code. Very interesting. Well, there you go. Here's another thing. It is painted inside, and it's routed HSH. Good to know. Alrighty. Alright, so there you go. It's the Fender standard Stratocaster. There's no reason for this guitar to exist. There just isn't. It's not good enough to be a Fender. It's not made any better than a Squire. So that goes one of two ways. They either made this Fender shittily, or Squires are made really well. And I said this in the last video. They should have just called this a Squire Pro or something like that. Because it's not good enough to be Fender. It's not exceptional enough. There's nothing about it that's so much better than a Squire. There's no reason for this guitar to exist. Okay? If the classic vibe is as good as everybody says it is, then it's good enough and it's cheaper. And then what are you paying for? You're literally paying hundreds of dollars for a headstock logo at that point, right? Tell me I'm wrong, because I'm not wrong on this. I'm simply not. I put my money where my mouth was. Until you do the same, you're done. Okay? I don't know about this. I think that maybe I'll try to mod it or something. I mean, at that point, I'm going to be so deep in the hole on this. I mean, I would have been better off buying a Mexican, which I already have 4 or 5, so I didn't need another one. But I bought this guitar so that I could make this video. I needed you guys to see it yourself, and so did I. Now, I'm surprised by what's under the hood, I'll admit. I'm surprised by what's under the hood, but there's nothing about this that makes me feel like I'm playing a Fender. it doesn't feel like a Fender. It really doesn't. It feels like a Squire. It feels a little cheaper than a Mexican. It really does. It doesn't look like a Fender either. That's the other thing. The headstock logo doesn't look like a Fender. It doesn't feel like a Fender, and it doesn't really sound like a Fender. So it shouldn't exist. I stand by my original points in my last video. So there you go. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all of you. Please join the Discord if you haven't already. The link is in the description below. Thanks again. See you next time. Keep on rocking.